The 11th of May, Rabbi Furst, Havos Halavovos, Heshbon Hanefesh.
Good morning, as Lou mentioned, this is Rabbi Shlomo first year. Yeshiva Shamanach Shehim Shlan Kev Zoom, learning Sefer Havos Halavovos, Shir Heshbon Hanefesh, and we'll put it on the screen momentarily. Let's see. Okay, should be coming up momentarily. Okay, let's see where we left off.
Okay.
Okay, sorry for the interruption.
Finished.
Let's start again. Okay, Mayor or Lou, who would like to read? Any volunteers?
I do. So let's see, we're up to Heshbon Benafsho Elu, second to the last paragraph.
1 second. I think Hamishi. I think we're learning Hamishi. We're in Hamishi, if I'm not. Yeah,
Oh, okay, that's the last paragraph.
I
Right.
think so.
V'heyach hatarta la'atzmecha.
Okay, the Chamishi, the fifth Heshbon Hanefesh, Yachshav im nafsho behis achru mahevin sefer Toras ha'elokim u minuchas nafsho mivalti amacha al einav. So let's see. It's that he thinks with his soul.
Again, soul. I wish we'd stop explaining, translating the word nafsho with soul. I guess if we're in the Middle Ages, that might have been more appropriate. But I think we can use the more modern understanding when he's in this context. Sometimes nafsho nefesh does mean in fact the soul, but in these contexts here means himself. Hashivim atzmo. A person should think to himself.
To himself.
A person should think to himself.
And what's the next word? His achro.
His achroi behaving safer in his negligence. in understanding the Sefer Torah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
His negligence in understanding the Sefer Torah of HaKodesh Baruch Hu, Umunuchas Nefesh, and the tranquility of himself.
Yeah, umenuchas nafshoi bevilti oimer al inyonav, and his lackadaisiness in his not establishing the concepts of the Torah.
um, that stands in his eyes.
No, in your are concepts.
Concepts.
It's a similar word to eyes, right? But it's a different inyanov inyan is a concept or a topic.
Okay. The Einenu Oseh Cain the Sefer Sheyigi Aso Sheyigi Aho Mi Melech. What is Sheyigi Ahu?
That Eineno Osakin, he would not do, Eineno Osakin, he would not do so, Peseifish Yagio Memela. He would not do something with a book, a communication from the king. Person would receive some kind of a communication from the king, right? Personal or otherwise, but it was signed by the king. He wouldn't be lax and negligent in his understanding and establishing the concepts of what it was talking about. Why? So the person has to ask himself, why, if I got, for example, like I mentioned last week, why if a person got a letter from a lawyer, 12-page letter from a lawyer, right? Letter and a lawyer you never heard from, right? And it was a registered letter, and you got a 12-page letter from a lawyer you never heard from before in your life, right? How much time would it take to understand what it says there, right? It would be you would be very eager to know what this letter is all about, no? Or would you just put it in with the rest of the garbage, or the rest of the junk mail? So he wouldn't put it with the junk mail. He'd spend a lot of time and effort understanding what this letter is all about. So when he would get a letter from the king, even more so if he got a letter from the king. After all, what can a lawyer actually do to him? King. So a king has power. So he would spend even more time and be settled absolutely in his knowledge and his confidence, and he understood clearly what the king wants from him. So why should he, when it comes to the Sefer Torah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why should he be any lax and treat Sefer Torah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu any differently than a letter from the king, lahavdil, or a letter from a lawyer, lahavdil, elef of dollars? Why would he react differently when he gets an opportunity to learn the Torah? That's what a person should think to himself about. That's what he's supposed to. This is one of the Heshbon Hanefesh. This is what he's supposed to try and appeal to himself, to arouse himself, to spend more time understanding the obligations that Kadosh Baruch Hu wants from him in a proper way, without being lax and not being negligent. You wouldn't do that for the letter from the lawyer or the king or the letter from the king. So why would he get away with trying to do that with the Torah? Okay.
Im hu mesupik b'havaniso.
Of Havanaso, if he's doubtful in his understanding.
He's doubtful in his understanding uh, because Hadamus Hachasiva O Hamalos O Leomek Enenav Ude Kosem Vehis Arvo Sam Bitzachos Devarav. He's doubtful in his understanding because of what is Damus?
The I think that would be because of the Damus Hakasiva, the allusions, maybe the intimations of the writing.
Or Hamalos. What is Hamalos?
Amilos, the words.
The words. Excuse me. Oh, Leomek. What's Leomek?
Depth.
Of his eyes.
No,
No, concepts again.
why do you say it's eyes?
It's concepts or matters.
Oh,
Look at
Inyanav.
yeah,
Inyanav.
look
Right.
at the last word on the first line. Look at the last word on the first line. It's the same word.
Got it.
See you later.
Okay.
Be there for lunch.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
So what was the word Omek?
Oimic is the depth or profundity of the concepts.
Uh, vid, vid, udikos sam,
Yeah, but do kosam, right? Do kosam, right?
hisarvosam, vitzachos, devarav, of his words. What is udikosam?
The kosam is the their their uh
Okay. Where are you going now? Thank you.
the details of them and the details of them and their details.
The details of the um, of
Or
the
or their specifics. Maybe better their specifics.
specifics of the illusions.
Well, no, you have again. Im hu mesupik v'havonaso mibnei hademus haksiva or hamilas or oimek ha'inyonav v'tikoso. that if he's doubtful because of the well, let's say maybe the Musar I think will maybe better in this way. Maybe the uh, um, um, the maybe I would say like this. I would say if a person is masupik in their understanding because of their um, um, because of the obscurity of the rate, because of the obscurity of the writing or of the words, or the profundity of the concepts and their specifics. Anyone there? Lou, you're muted, Lou. Uh, oh, you're not.
No, I'm
Anyone
here.
there?
I'm looking at the next word. Vahis ar vosam. I don't know that word.
His Aravosum, um, the elaborateness with Sachus Divrov and the eloquence of the words.
Eloquence of the words. Aval he no saying kol libo v'sachlo bo, but he puts all of his heart and his intellect into it. Lamad al inanav, inyanav, uh, to learn all of the concepts. Um, Sorry, I got to take a call. Hello.
Mary, you want to take over, Mary?
I'm good. How are
Okay,
you?
so let's see. Siklovo la'amod al inyanav. And Siklo is not intellect. His thoughts maybe are in it to understand this concept. V'haya,
It means like when Amud on Yinanav to establish, he wants to establish the concept, and he wants to get clear. He wants to get clear the concepts.
oh, okay. Make it clear. Okay.
Right. Abuhaya nosin kol libo v'sichloibo. He would apply his whole heart and mind to it, la'amud, to establish the concepts, to understand it.
Understand it. Okay. V'hayamitz ta'er tsar gadol. And he would be
Stressed greatly.
greatly distressed, I guess.
Good,
Uh,
very good, right.
Ad sheyavin kavanatovo, until he understood his intention. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, ukishehu oseze la'amod al sefer adam. So if he would do much on this book of man.
Right. So this is the real this is the real Heshbon. This is the real um accounting that he has to take. This is the real soul searching he has to do with himself.
Mhm.
If he would do so to to understand a sefer from a person who's chalash, weak.
Human, oh, or a human even, a man that's weak, I guess.
Yeah, human that's weak.
Okay. Tamuta kamohu, and mortal like himself.
Oh, very good. Mortal like himself. Beautiful, perfect, very
Yeah,
good.
I looked that word up in the dictionary before.
Okay, good.
Okay. Kamahu chayav la'asot mikiflei ze ad sheyavin sefer Elokav asher hu chayav. Okay, so how much more would he be obligated to go uh, Kefel is double. How
Right.
much more he would exert, I guess, maybe to understand until he understood the book of Hashem.
Right. How much more so? Many more times he should do so in order to understand the Sefer of HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Mhm. Asher hu chayav, which is a life, or his life.
Right.
Uh,
Kimo
Kimosh,
Shekasiv, as it's written.
oh, okay. Yeah, I have commotion MR, okay, but it's in
Very
Devarim.
good, good, good. Kimo should be therefore also is good. Yeah.
Okay. Ki hu chayecha orech yamecha. So it says that he is uh, he is um, maybe he gives you your life and the length of your days.
Yeah. Now I'm just it says. I mean, I wonder if it's this. We say um, a similar phrase in by Ma'ariv before Kriya Shema. Now I'm just wondering if they're both psukim, whether only this is a pasuk. We say just before Kriya Shema of Ma'ariv, right?
Oh, what? Ki hem
Um,
chayenu v'orech yameinu.
right, right.
Yeah, it
So
could be a paraphrase then.
that's what I'm wondering. Let's first of all let's take a look. Let's see if that's there is such a pasuk as that.
I don't have, you
This
said in Mar, right?
yeah, this is Ma'ariv just before um Kriya Shema. Uh,
Okay, let's see.
Ihem chayenu v'orech yameinu. Right.
אבל מדברת מצוות הולכים משפטים אותנו למטה. שקמנו וקומנו וכוחך ונשמח בדברי תלמוד תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. Here, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
והם נגי יומם ולילה. And okay, so he translates it, for they are our life and the length of our days.
Right. So I'm just wondering, as we said, is that a paraphrasation of this pasuk that we're dealing with now?
Oh, that's a
Let's
good question.
let's
Hold
see.
on.
It
Game
just
of
shows
Yoga.
up. He came.
He has a comment. The Torah teaches us that only true life is one in the service of Hashem. Yeah, I don't see any source for this particular phrase in my Siddur.
Right.
No, I don't see it.
Seemed to be a pasuk, but let's see. Let's go back to this. Ki hu chayecha, ki hu chayecha. So let's go back to the source. Let's look at this
Okay,
pasuk.
so
Let's,
hold
let's
on.
look at this pasuk. Ki
That's
hu.
in 1 second. That's Devarim 30. Let's see. Devarim 30, Pasuk 20.
Let's see the whole pasuk.
Okay, so the whole pasuk says, "Li'avayat Hashem Elokecha, lishmoa bikolo, uledavka bo." You should adhere to it, I guess. Kihi hayecha v'orech yamecha. Okay, for he is your life and the length of your days. Lashevet al ha'adamah, to dwell on the land. Asher nishba Hashem lavotecha, which Hashem swore to give to your forefathers, the Avraham liYitzchak uliYaakov latet lahem, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, to Yaakov, to give to them.
So let's approach it like this. When we say in Ma'ariv, ki heim chayecha v'rech yamecha, what are we referring to there?
I would say we're referring to our lives on this earth.
Well, so let's back up in the paragraph a little bit. Let's see.
Okay.
Go back in Ma'ariv for Kriya Shema.
Let's do that. Okay, hold on.
I think it's the words of Torah. They are our life and the length of our days. I think it's talking about words of Torah.
Yeah, Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim. The Torah, laws, judgment, and judgments, I guess.
Good.
Torah, mitzvot, okay. Chukim u'mishpatim. Decrees and ordinances, he translate.
Okay, good.
That you taught us, that Hashem taught us, it's saying.
This paragraph continue. Go ahead.
I presume through Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, then it says, Alkein Hashem Elokecha b'shachveinu uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Talmud Toratecha u'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed. So it goes on, let's see, Alkein is usually therefore. Hashem our God in B'Shachbenu, and laying down, I guess, at night, and when rising up, again in the morning, Nasiach, we talk about or discuss your laws, V'nismach, and we rejoice with the words of the study of your Torah, and with your commandments forever, the Olam Va'ed. So that's an ongoing thing. It's that's sort of what the Shema says, V'shinan tam levanecha, you shall teach them to your children. So this concept is an ongoing thing throughout
Yeah.
life.
Very good. Yeah, very
Wow.
good. Okay, so yeah, Lou, exactly. This whole paragraph seems to be really a specific reference to Torah, right? So, but so contrast that with the pasuk in Devarim. The pasuk in the Lahavta es Hashem Elokecha, Lishmoa Bekoiloi Uledav Kaboy, Ki Hu Chayecha Orech Yemecha. L'sheves ala adama asher nishba Hashem Eloseinu la'Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov l'seis lahem. So what is the ki hu chayecha? That's the orech yemecha.
Right. Okay.
So at the first, so let's we have to analyze this pasuk a bit. The first part of the pasuk says L'havta Hashem Elokecha. Number one.
Mhm.
L'havta Hashem Elokecha. One. L'shmoy b'koiloi l'davka boy. Number two. Right? L'shmoy b'koiloi l'davka boy. Ki hu chayecha v'orech yemecha. So this part three, the question is this part three, ki hu, the ki hu, what's the who referring to? Chayecha v'orech yemecha.
Right. Huh.
I think who is the same thing I said before, the Torah and the laws and the ordinances and everything that it referred to in the previous pasuk.
In the previous, well, first we have the paragraph preceding the Shema of Ma'ariv, then you have the pasuk which is in Devarim. So within the context, we're trying to understand within the context of the pasuk in Devarim, when it says ki hu hayecha v'orech yemecha, the ki hu, the who is a reference to what? That's the question here. The pasuk shot in the pasuk, right? The first part of the pasuk is referring to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. That you have to love a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and then after loving a Kadosh Baruch Hu, l'shmoyel b'koiloi, l'davka l'shmoyel koiloi, right? Listen to his coil, literally listen to his voice. L'davka boy, what's the l'davka boy? What does it mean l'davka boy?
I would think to cling to his voice because that's masculine. Oh,
Yeah, but I'm not that. I
can't
agree
be.
with you. I agree with you, but it's a bit of a strange thing to say you should be davka to his voice. A voice is not really there's not much physical matter to a voice that you can be davka to a voice.
Well, can't you interpret it to what he has told you?
Well, why wouldn't that be included? Lishmoya b'koilu. Lishmoya b'koilu should include everything, no?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I hear. Yes.
Right?
Huh.
There's lishmoya b'koilu. Okay, so that you know,
So you listen to his voice and you
right?
cling to it.
The question, boy, the dafka boy, right? So,
Mhm.
what's the dafka boy? Meaning, what? First of all, what's in it? This exactly. See, this is a perfect example. This whole Heshbon and Hanefesh, right? This whole Heshbon and Hanefesh is trying to arouse us to try and apply ourselves deeply, enthusiastically to understanding the words of Hakadosh Baruch Hu in His Torah. Now, you can read it. You can read this pasuk very superficially, and you might think you understand what it's talking about when you start just peeling back a few layers of observation. You get yourself. You're in the middle of a thicket over here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So the first part is fairly straight. Alav des Hashem Elokecha. Okay. Love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's your God. Fine. Okay. Good. Lishmoya b'koilo. That's also pretty straightforward, right?
Hmm.
Now, Ladavka boy. So now what is that going on? Meaning, Ladavka boy, number one, if it's talking about a voice, so it's a very in terms of just realities of things, it's very difficult to physically, davka is really, if you take it in the literal physical sense, to cling on to something, cling on to its voice. If it's referring to the voice, so it's very hard to cling to a voice. And if it's meaning you want to say it's taking out of its context and saying it doesn't mean really to cling on, but it means to cling to it, meaning the voice, it's still going to the voice, to cling to the voice. So how is that? That's it. How is that additional to the lishmoya bekoilos? So lishmoya bekoilos. That's good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. I hear it. So now we can say lishmoya bekoilos. Listen to his voice. Good. What does it mean, the dafka boy? So let's say it's talking about that you have to cling to his voice. So how are you supposed to cling to it? Meaning not to let go of it. Meaning you can go, as they say, in one ear and out the other ear. Yeah, you listen to it. Lishmoya bekoilo. Yeah, in one ear and out the other ear. No,
Mhm.
dafkabo. Let some of that gray matter, stick to that voice of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Let your gray matter, absorb some of the coil of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Maybe that's what it means. The dafkaboy.
What about he was talking about your life, Chaim. Chaim is
Right.
also Zachar.
That's
So
true. Correct.
so
Well,
Vo could be referring to one's life, maybe even.
well, how key? Well, then the key hu chayecha v'orech yemecha, because it is your life and the length of your days. So now, what is that? What is that? Is that referring to the coil of a Kadosh Baruch Hu? Is that referring to a Kadosh Baruch Hu himself?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
I don't know. Uh,
Hmm. Good point. Yeah, I don't know either.
um, Rashi doesn't seem to say anything here. There's no Rashi on this, is there?
Well, my rush is very small, but let me see. Yeah, I don't see anything. Huh.
This happens to be Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva, before he was, of course, before he died, Al Kiddush Hashem, he used this pasuk. He used this pasuk. Um, that Rabbi Akiva said they were questioning Rabbi Akiva. Said the Gemara in Brachas brings down. There's a Gemara in Samech Aleph Amid Beis. V'haftes Hashem Elokecha. Tanya, there's a brayso. Amar Rabbi Eliezer Amar. Im nemer bekol nafshecha. Ama nemer bekol meodecha. If it says bekol nafshecha, why does it say bekol meodecha? Im nemer bekol meodecha. If it says bekol meodecha, why do I have to say bekol nafshecha? Ella im yesh l'cha adam gufa chaviv elav. If there's a person whose mominus, his possessions are beloved for him, therefore it says, L'chak never b'kol nafshecha. So you don't think that it's simply enough that you don't give up your money, but you have to give up your soul as well. As a person, his mom and his hubby beloved can gufo, you have to give up even your money. Rabbi Kiva Omer. So now Rabbi Kiva says, Bekol Navshka. What this means, Bekol Navshka, feel no to es Navshka. You're going to take your life. What does that mean? Tanur Rabbanan is a brisa. Pam achas gazera malchus of Rishah shelo osu Yisrael b'Torah. At one time there was a decree from the evil rulership, the evil Roman rulership, shelo yasik Yisrael b'Torah, that they made a gazera that the Jews shall not learn Torah. Ba Papis ben Yehuda, Matzav Rabbi Akiva, Shu Mechal Kehilos, Rabbi Osku b'Torah. So Papis ben Yehuda found Rabbi Akiva that he was gathering many groups of Jews to learn Torah b'Rabbim. The Romans said no Torah should be learned, and Rabbi Akiva went out into the streets and he had people learning Torah right there in the streets in defiance of the Roman decree. Amalei. So Papis ben Yehuda said, Akiva, Iata matira nafsha mibnei malchus, excuse me, Iata misraim malchus, you're not fearful from the government? You not feel the Romans? Amarlos, Rabbi Akiva said, I'll give you a moshel. You want? I'll tell you what. I'll explain this to you by means of an analogy, as follows: that Lama Domer. What's this similar to? Shoyel Shai Mahalak Al Gabi Anar. There was a fox. There was a fox, and he was the fox going along the riverbank. Raw dogging and he, the fox, saw that the fish were fleeting from one place to the next in the river. Amr Lahem, the fox said to the river. The fox said to the fish that were fleeting from one part of the river to the other part of the river. He said to them, the fox said to the fish that, why are you running? Why are you fleeing? Amalahem, the fish said to them, people are trying to catch us with nets. The people trying to catch us with nets. So we're fleeing and fleeing from one place to the next. So we shouldn't be caught in the nets. Amr Lahem, so the fox said to the fish, maybe you would like to come out onto the dry land. The people tried to catch you in nets in the water. So listen, come on onto the dry land. And I'll tell you what, let me and you and I live together as we lived our fathers im Abosechem. Just that statement is a tremendously difficult statement, but we're going to leave that alone for now. Amaloi, the fish said, right? The fish said to the fox, Amaloi, Ata Sha'omer Malacha Pekeach Bechayos. You're the one that they say that you're the cleverest of all animals. Lo Pekeach Ata, you're not clever at all. Ela Tipish Ata, you're a fool. Ma B'makin, why are you a fool? What are you suggesting? You're suggesting that us, the fish, should come to save ourselves and go up onto the land, and that's going to save ourselves? It's tipshus. He made a call b'chomer. The fish in the mushel, Rabbi Kiva made a mushel to the fox. Madach, just as if we are fearful for our lives in the place we have chias, this is our environment. If in our environment we are fearful for our lives, the place we'll die. Shall we not have more fear if we go onto the land? The land is a place we're certainly going to die. So there's no Eitzah, something that is going to help us by going on to the dry land. That's the place we're certainly going to die.
Mm.
Afanachnu. Akshav anu yoshvim osim b'Torah. So Rabbi Akiva now focused on the reality of the situation. Afanachnu, likewise us, at the time when the Romans are goes gezeres on the Jews not to learn Torah. Akshav anu yoshvim osim b'Torah. Now we are sitting and we're involved in learning Torah. Kasabah, it says in the Torah itself, and Rabbi Akiva quoted our pasuk, it, and apparently Rabbi Akiva is learning this. Kihu is referring to the Torah. Kihu chayech v'orach yemecha. Kach, likewise, imanu ochlim uvatelim emenu. Now, if we would go and be mavato from Torah, halachas kama v'kama will be in terrible danger. Yeah, Amru, they said, La Yamim Mutami Anshe Tifsu Rabbi Akiva Vehavshu Babasis Surim. It wasn't a short time until afterwards that they seized Rabbi Akiva and put him into jail. And that led to his eventual Kiddush Hashem, to his death. But okay, so we'll leave that for the time being. But we see that Rabbi Akiva is learning in the Gemara and Brachos, is learning Samech Aleph Amid Beis, that this pasuk Ki hu chayecha v'yorach yemecha is referring to the Torah. Okay. All right. It's a bit late. Went a bit longer than usual, but we'll have to review this again tomorrow and focus more on the what the Havos and Halavovos is bringing, this Ki hu chayav, right? That Ki hu chayecha v'orach yemecha, reference to Torah. Okay. That's in the same way that the Gemara and Brachos is learning it. Very good. Okay. Fine. Let's take a short break and we'll resume shortly.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shkoyach Meir.
Okay,
Thank
Brooke,
you,
yeah,
Matt.
thank you.
Hope to see you all soon, Mitzvah Shem.
Okay.